Welcome back, listeners, to the New Sentinel. I'm Chukwuka, joined as always by Ethan, Olga, and Duke. October's here, the leaves are falling, and apparently, so is confidence in the American government. The shutdowns rolled into week 2. It's getting real, especially for people who wear the uniform. But it's not just about missed paychecks, is it? It's this erosion, this gnawing at public trust in Washington. That's something I want to start with today. Ethan, you remember the last big shutdown we had?
Oh, yeah, I remember. You never forget those. See, pay delays don't just hit wallets, they gut morale. Troops start asking, does this government even have our backs anymore? And that feeling spreads. Quick, last I checked, the risk of missing military pay is just days away. That's a bad look for the brass, bad look for Congress, you name it. People start calling up recruiters, private sector recruiters. You can lose good leaders over this nonsense.
Roger that, Sentinel. Boots on the ground gotta get paid, period. I was in Afghanistan back in, was it 10? When shutdown talk was all over the news. Never saw morale tank so fast, except maybe after friendly fire. I ain't sugarcoating. These shutdowns don't just mess with pay, they drive contractors and the VA up the wall. Whole support ecosystem shakes.
It's not isolated either. When governments break trust, it doesn't just hurt soldiers, it undermines the social fabric. Speaking of trust and authority, let's talk Belarus. Lukashenko's so-called prisoner releases this week. Most were symbolic. I've spoke with families of those detainees. One mother, Ekaterina, she told me her son never even saw sunlight during lockdowns. These pardons are trying to buy goodwill with the West, perhaps ease sanctions, but at street level, repression still rules.
You always bring those human angles, Olga. I wonder, is the same kind of hope still breathing in Belarus, or does it feel snuffed out?
There's hope, yes, but it's careful, even fragile. Now in Nepal, it's the opposite trajectory. The youth, students, new voters, they topple the government just by showing up, speaking out. That's what renewal looks like when people, especially the young, still believe protest matters. But it's precarious. If the new leadership fails to deliver, things could spiral again. Lots of risks, but a real window for democratic reform.
It's that fork in the road feeling. Either you move forward or you slip back hard. And we're seeing that sort of fragility in the Middle East again. Hostage families pushing for an actual peace process in Israel-Palestine. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but last time we dove into this, we talked about how even incremental trust building matters. Maybe this international mediation push gains ground. Maybe it fizzles. You never quite know with so many local and global actors tossing in their 2 cents.
2 cents and a couple tomahawks some days. But, shifting gears a minute, did y'all catch Guterres' UN renewable energy call? That's a big pivot. Lot of fossil-heavy economies feeling the heat. Pun half intended. Funding for green tech's about to go up, and you better believe it'll ripple into public and private investments. Somebody's about to make a killing in infrastructure.
Yeah, that's the arc, isn't it? Political gridlock here, civil transitions there, a global scramble for cleaner energy everywhere. Bit of chaos, bit of renewal. Can't untangle the threads. And that's just the start for this month.
All right, staying with the shutdown for a sec. You want to talk morale? You gotta talk pay crisis. When that first deposit don't hit, people start stressing. When I was running a platoon and pay got delayed back in country, you suddenly become part chaplain, part bank teller, part therapist. Guys with bills, families, no clue if their mortgage is still good. And they're still expected to show up strong, keep it tight. System ain't right when loyal troops feel hung out to dry.
Duke's dead right. You get this domino effect. Folks hitting up the private sector because they just can't roll the dice anymore. Morale dips, readiness takes a hit, and then you've got recruitment issues down the line. Not to mention defense contractors and VA clinics start running lean. Everyone downstream gets squeezed. Plus, medical readiness. I read the latest on reserve partnerships with civilians, dual-use hospitals, cross-training and all that. It's not just wartime stuff. Sets you up for pandemic response, even big disasters at home. Too bad all that progress gets threatened when you can't guarantee basic funding.
This interconnection, military, medicine, civilian life, it's so apparent right now. When funding is shaky, innovation can stall, or worse, deepen inequalities. On top of that, militaries worldwide are re-examining their doctrine. Like Russia in Ukraine, constant adjustment, new tech all the time. And now, the US and China, they're wargaming, not just the conflict but the recovery after. Maritime infrastructure, humanitarian logistics, it's shifting from just fighting wars to managing what comes after. Strategy doesn't end when the shooting stops.
I'm glad you brought that up, Olga. Building on what we discussed in our AI and decentralization episodes, it's almost like the battlefield's gone digital twice over. Not just drones and cyber stuff, but also the information war. Ethan, you seeing much about that AI-driven comms overhaul?
Oh yeah, whole new frontier. The Pentagon's integrating AI with social analytics now, trying to get ahead of adversaries who move fast and loose on TikTok, Telegram, and who knows what else. The goal isn't just messaging, it's influence, shaping the info domain with more precision. Double-edged sword, though. AI can supercharge good campaigns or blow up trust when it goes off the rails.
Yeah, you start getting ghost in the machine stuff. Can AI tell what trust looks like, or does it just amplify whatever's already trending? That's where leadership matters. Boots on the ground and online both. Gotta watch those second and third order effects.
Absolutely. Everything's linked. Pay, readiness, comms, innovation, and even basic morale. If the shutdown drags on, I reckon all these cracks just get wider. Now, if you thought global crises were wild, the pop culture world has been throwing some curveballs too. Everyone's talking about Doja Cat and Fortnite, mainstream artists dropping into gaming. Ethan, you got a kid glued to a console, right?
Ha! Guilty. And I can tell you, crossovers like this, my son nags me for V-Bucks every single time a new collab drops. There's big money flowing, IP rights moving faster than supply chains. But I worry about franchise fatigue. Stranger Things splitting its final season into 3 parts, that's a content churn factory. Good for engagement, maybe, but people burn out, man. Oversaturation's a real risk.
Same with those mega sequels. Wicked hitting theaters, new Bruce Springsteen biopic in the works. It's Americana, nostalgia, streaming spikes. But you keep pressing that nostalgia button, and sooner or later, the battery dies. Gotta innovate, not just recycle what already worked. Remember, business world's split. Opportunity for some, but the market's brutal for anyone not at the very top.
The profit machine eats everything, even our childhoods. Look at the K-pop wardrobe auctions, Lisa's collection up for grabs. Suddenly, fandom turns into frenzy, and platforms like Jupiter, where these clothes go, become luxury resale marketplaces overnight. It tells you something about how identity, memory, and even consumer activism blend. But then, ethical questions follow. Mean Girls X Shane, that's a nostalgia bomb, but the fast fashion backlash, especially among Gen Z, is rising. These trends cross borders. Identity is global, but so are the risks, from labor abuses to IP dilution.
Last thing, entertainment and tech have their own tug of war. Platforms are making it easier to launch, but harder to own the relationship with fans. All that digitization, it's opportunity and risk side by side. Case in point, Springsteen's biopic could boost legacy music sales, but if it flops, so does the back catalog. Lisa's K-pop auction supercharges resale, but dilutes original IP if every brand hops on the trend. Like y'all said, business is strategic as ever, but one wrong call and it unravels fast.
Couldn't say it plainer. The pop culture wars are real, in the boardroom as much as on the streamers. But hey, I'll still binge Stranger Things even if it's in 3 parts. Gotta be honest there.
We all will, Ethan, but maybe we demand more substance next time, or at least less plastic packaging when we buy the merch,
Yeah, what she said. Less clutter, more value. Let's keep the mission tight, folks.
All right, folks, That's a wrap on another jam-packed October episode of the New Sentinel. Shutdowns, showdowns, and the streaming surge. Just another month on planet Earth. Stay curious, stay strategic, and don't forget to join us next time as we untangle whatever madness November brings. Thanks, Ethan, Olga, Duke. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure's mine, team. Stay sharp out there.
Take care, everyone. Let's remember those most at risk. See you next time.
Be safe. Don't let the noise get to you. Duke out.